Welcome to my channel V Concepts CHM. This is the second part of the transistor multivibrators series. We'll study about monostable multivibrator. It is also called as a one-shot multivibrator. It has only one stable state in which it can remain indefinitely unless a trigger is applied to change to the quasi-stable state. The monostable or one-shot multivibrator has one stable state and one quasi-stable state. Quasi-stable state can be said to be as an half-stable state or an unstable state, that is, which is not a permanent state. The application of input pulse triggers the circuit. So these are the input pulses. It triggers the circuit into its quasi-stable state in which it remains for a period determined by the circuit constants. After this period of time, the circuit returns to its initial stable state. The process is repeated upon the application of each trigger pulse. Since the monostable multivibrator produces a single output pulse for each input trigger pulse, it is generally called as one-shot multivibrator. So for this one trigger pulse, one output pulse is generated. So hence it is called as a one-shot multivibrator. To change a state, a positive trigger pulse is applied to the base of T1. Here, to the base of T1, a trigger pulse is applied. T1 becomes on. The capacitor C1, which has already charged, now discharges through R1 and this transistor. Time for which T2 remains off. It depends on the time required for C1 to discharge from minus VCC to slightly positive. As soon as the base of T2 becomes slightly positive, T2 becomes on, driving T1 off, which is the permanent stable state. Bistable multivibrator. It has two stable states, hence it is also called as a flip-flop. So it consists of a pair of cross-coupled transistors. Each collector drives the base of other transistor through the resistors R2 and R3. One transistor is on, the other is off. The bistable multivibrator has both the two states stable. It requires the application of an external triggering pulse to change the operation from either one state to the other. Hence, one pulse is used to generate half cycle of the square wave and another pulse to generate the next half cycle of the square wave. It is also known as a flip-flop multivibrator because of the two possible states it can assume. Assume that T2 is on. When T2 is on, its collector voltage is 0, which is coupled to the base of T1, making T1 off. So that makes the collector of T1 high. So this is the permanent stable state. So that is this VC1 is high and VC2 is low. Now to change this state, apply enough positive voltage to base of T1 because T1 is off. So to make it off, you can apply voltage at the base of T1. Then T1 becomes on. its collector voltage becomes 0. Vc1 was high. Okay, so it becomes low. And T2 becomes now off. So this is the permanent stable state. This state can be now again changed by applying trigger directly to the base of T2, because T2 was off. We want to make it on. So you apply a trigger pulse to the base of T2. Schmitt trigger. It is basically a bistable circuit. It provides square wave output from sine wave input. It is a binary trigger. That is, in one trigger pulse, it changes two stable states. That is, when T1 is on, T2 is off, and vice versa. So now we are not applying any input to the base of T1. In the absence of input to T1, the collector resistance RC1 and the base resistor R keeps the base of T2 slightly positive relative to the emitter, making T2 on. Hence, positive voltage developed across RE resulting from flow of current through T2 maintains T1 to be off. Hence, T1 is off, T2 is on. Now we apply a sine wave to the base of T1. T1 becomes on. During the positive half cycle, the voltage at the base of T1 is more than the emitter by a voltage V1, which is given as VBE plus VE2. VE2 can be given as IC2 into RE. RE is the emitter resistance. Hence T1 goes into saturation. It is now in the on state. It is held in that state until the voltage V1 at the base falls below the emitter voltage. In the second half cycle, base voltage falls below the emitter voltage because you have a sinusoidal wave here. It goes low. So the base voltage falls below the emitter voltage, and now V2, a voltage V2 is equal to VBE plus VE1, where VE1 is equal to IC1 into RE. This turns T1 off, T2 on. The collector currents are given as IC1 is equal to VCC minus VCE sat upon RC1 plus RE, and IC2 is VCC minus VCE sat upon RC2 plus RE. So before the application of the input trigger, the emitter voltage VE2 reverse bias T1 such that if T1 has to conduct, the input voltage should cross this reverse bias, and that voltage is this UTP, upper trip point. Similarly, while the input decreases, it should again cross the another threshold, which we call it as the LTP, the lower trip point. So this is the input waveform, and these are the collector voltage waveforms for both the transistors. This is VC1 and this is VC2. The difference between the UTP and the LTP is called as hysteresis, which we can denote as VH.